Okay. All right. Looks like everything is set up. And we're live. I'm just going to... I did my base coat. I'm just going to finish painting. We'll see who joins us. I'll use the back of a handle of one brush to lift my hair so I can paint underneath. And then getting under is mostly a matter of kind of dodging the body of the hair. So what I do is I'll lift up the hair and just kind of dab at the roots a little bit. You're mainly aiming at the skin, but you'll get the roots, some of it. So instead of like painting, you kind of dab at it. That's how I found how to avoid hairs, so I can preserve the natural color of my hair, or, you know, I do also paint on facial hair. That is a different look. But I have found, on me at least, I like the look of painting around. So as you might have guessed from the title of this video, I'm planning on talking about building a platform for artists. So this would be an art platform where you can post your art and share it with everyone without, hopefully, getting your art stolen or your art being placed on the same level as like generative art would be. But I'll get more into that later. Okay, so this looks kind of streaky, so I'll just smooth it out a little bit. Hi, Kiki. What is it? Hey. Oh, no. Oh. No. Not wanting to make an appearance? Okay, that's my cat. Let me see if I can make some announcements. see. What if I do this? Okay, now it's time for the stripes. So, get out a fresh brush. And our high contrast color. And I think before I begin, I'll pull up a reference. I waited too long in my sort of artistic journey to start to use references. For whatever reason, I felt like it was cheating, but it's not. There we go. Especially if you want to be consistent, or if you want to use your reference as a base and then deviate from it, that's also fine too. Okay, first stripe is always the hardest. Oh, hello. Hello and welcome. You get to see me put on my first stripe. There we go. Now, let me check my reference here. Now I'll do the sides. Let me see if I can get a closer shot. Now, once takes a bit of focus. Once I'm done painting, I'll start talking about the topic of this video, of this stream. Let's see. Hello from ATL. I'm assuming that means Atlanta. How's Atlanta? How's the weather? I swear doing the eyes is the trickiest one, and being a zebra is like you're lining your eyes multiple times. So imagine having to wing your eyes multiple times. Okay. And then I'm gonna go for this one. Now, I usually connect these two stripes to kind of make like a little bit of a dart. I'm not sure if I want to do that today. I might change it up. Okay. Have that. Now, I think that's some of the harder stripes done first. I'll connect them. Get them to the forehead. And how do I do these ones? Ah, okay. So one coming down here, and then connect this one. Yeah, something I have to deal with is as I'm painting myself, because it's all water-based, the black wants to mix with the white underneath or the gray, and either way it makes gray. So to darken it, I have to go over it again at risk of thickening the line like I did just there. But that's okay. And my eyebrows want to prevent my brush from going smooth, so you have to kind of dab at them a little bit to get the color to stay there. So Velveteen Ducky says, so this answers the question. You are in fact a white zebra with black stripes, not a black with white stripes. This is very true. I actually have a comic that was made by Zakauer, where it shows me as a white horse, and I'm just putting on some eyeliner, and you know, you how you it's uneven on one side, so you do a little more, you thicken it up, and then you thicken it up more, or you drag it along more, and you end up, you know, going crazy and having zebra stripes. So that's sort of the origin story of the zebra stripes. Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of like it just loses pigment on the brush when it becomes gray like that. Hi, Kiki. Okay. Velveteen Ducky says, I heard the same thing happened to Kiss. Tell me about it. What did they just start putting on some eyeliner and then continued? Okay. I'm gonna do the sides. So if you look at zebras, zebras have like a dark muzzle. They have around their lips it's all blackened out, but I don't think that looks very um, appealing on a human face. So what I tend to do stylistically is um, I have found I'll just do human lips, um, but I do have facial hair that helps kind of enhance that. All right, Velveteen Ducky came back and said, "Okay, herd is a strong word. I made the story up in my head and rolled with it." Ah, okay, all right. No, you could have fooled me because I don't know Kiss lore, so you could have told me anything there. But that would be a very interesting origin story of how they came up with their makeup. Okay. Uh, let's see. So what I do to kind of emphasize the sort of like horse equine snout is I try to have the stripes go in that direction. Stripes make your face look longer, right? Okay. That, I think, is the stripes done, at least on the face. I'm gonna do my eyes, and I'm gonna do my lips, and then I'm gonna do the bigger stripes, which are fun. It stripes all the way down. Kind of like it's just turtles all the way down. Okay. So I'm taking blue, and because I like blue, and I like painting with it, and I'm just gonna make it my lid color here. Underline. There's a dog barking outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm curious what the dog is barking at. Maybe it's a ghost? Hopefully it's not a zebra. There we go. Now I'm going to do the tear duct, the kind of animal tear duct here. Kind of in line with all these other stripes. Velveteen ass. Do zebras bark? I don't think so. I think they kind of yip or kip. But I would say I've not been around live zebras enough to be able to say for sure. If they do bark, it's probably not like a dog. This zebra can bark, but that would be a little out of character. Okay, so this is like an eyeshadow stick. I love these things because you can just rub it on and you're good to go. Hi, still going? Glad to have you here. I'm just putting on my makeup. Once I'm done, I'll start talking about the project. That's the subject of this stream. But feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll try to answer. Now I know I just covered a lot of my blue with like a black eyeshadow, but what I am going to do with it is I'm going to smudge this. Smudge it using my finger. Actually, hang on. I have hooded eyes, so if I look straight, what you'll see is a lot of my makeup just disappear. So I need to kind of double check and go over, kind of just overdo it a bit. Now I can take my finger and smudge it, blend it in with the base coat, kind of. Keep smudging until it's a little smooth. Now I've got some blue that goes on top. It's very shiny. Just pack it on for some shiny blue eyes. It actually, honestly, took me a while to figure out how to do this. And I love it because it's very simple and easy to put on if I just want to do eyes. And it's only 2 products, and I'm not using any brushes for. Well, obviously I'm using brushes to paint my stripes today, but if I wasn't doing that, I only need this, and I wouldn't have any brushes to clean afterwards. Eyes done. Now for the lips. Okay. I've got a brush here. The applicator that came with this one has died, so I have to improvise and use my own face paint brush. Okay, I'm going to use the same trick as before. Use the handle of a brush to lift. nice and silver for the base. And what I'll do to help match the eyes is I'll put this on it as well. Okay. Starting to look more like myself. Just gotta wipe my hooves. I guess that is the one disadvantage of doing it this way, is that you do end up with smudgy makeup on your hands. And if you don't have like a faucet or a sink to wash them in immediately, you might not want to do this, or at least something to wipe it away with. All right, now I get to use the big brush, and we'll make some big stripes. The tricky part about this is when I do one side, my skin is not being pulled, but if I do the other side with the same hand, you see that this stripe kind of changes position. And when I'm trying to use it as a reference to make it look even, this side will, my reference is being stretched. So I have to kind of hold myself in a neutral position, kind of remember where everything is, and then try and match that. That just makes it more fun, right? Okay, hold myself in a neutral position. Get a good look. All right, and about there, and go. Sometimes you just have to go. All right. my brush wanted to skip a little bit so it's not a solid line. That just happens. Hi, Kiki. I don't know why you're coming to me. Yeah? Yes. Hello, cat. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's purring like crazy. Okay, how does that? Okay. I think. Oh, I could maybe do a little more here. I had a really good artist. Oh, you still going says no, I just heard a meow. Oh good. They can hear you. Let me see if she'll come up. No. Come here, Kiki. Come here. Ooh. There you go. There you go. Velveteen says, who does her eyeliner? If I could get a perfect set of cat eyes like her, um, I would probably do it. I don't know who does her eyeliner. Okay, so as I was saying, there's um, I remember having a really awesome art teacher growing up, and one of the things that he taught us is that art is never really done. It's just that you decide when it's done or when you are done with it. You know, the art is never really done, but you decide when you are done with it. You know, it's you. A lot of times, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going to put this away, or I'm done with it for now. But there's always something that you can add to art, to your art, or I guess also it's the way I sort of interpret that is that you really have to consciously decide when you are done with it. You know, otherwise you can play with your artwork forever and never complete it, or um, I suppose get it to some completeness to where you can show it. You know, so you can kind of get stuck unless you consciously figure it out. It also means, though, that you can revisit your art. It's never closed. You can always come back to it, which I think is a beautiful thought. Sorry, the cat's going a little crazy right now. I think she's a little hungry. So, speaking of art and artists, I want to, well, I've begun a journey towards making an art platform for artists. The year is 2025, and we have a lot of issues with which to solve. You know, there's there's a lot. Climate change, to name one. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of conflicts. I won't go into those, but there is also one of the things, if I can choose one, and I can, if I do have the ability to tackle, is the fact that a lot of artists right now don't really have a safe place to post their art. Now, I know a lot of people have moved over to other platforms, but there isn't really one that's by artists for artists. You know, that really caters to an artist's needs. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I need to change out my my little studio area here so I can properly show you. Let's see, where do I put this? Okay. So I have a little pad here. Let me see. I'm going to try and shift over to it now. Oops. Come on. Okay. I think I need to set this up again. Aha, there we go. Fit the screen and then ta-da. Okay. Should be able to see my little pad here. This application is Procreate. I'm going to draw some ideas out for you, but and hopefully explain what I'm talking about here. So pull this up closer and not get it all over the makeup. So, let's see. You have a lot of different, you have some options right now when it comes to posting art, but you don't necessarily have options that necessarily protect you from art theft uh, or um, or generative AI. So what I want to do, my idea at least, is to make an art platform that has two. I'm going to try and start with two features here. One, a portfolio, so you can see a gallery of pieces of art. So a portfolio, as well as you'll have a feed. So it will act a lot like social media does today, where you make a post and you have posts coming into your feed. Oh, is that? That is. It's upside down, isn't it? There we go. No idea why it was upside down. My apologies. So you'll make a post and it appears in someone's feed, anyone who follows you. But what happens is when you post to a feed, that post is going to be ephemeral. So it's going to have like an expiration date. So the idea here is that you, as the artist, as the creator, you own all of your artwork. So let's say this is you. You have all of the artwork. Let's say this is your stack of artwork. And as you post select things onto your feed. And it's up there for a time limit. You know, let's say, I don't know, 1 month, 6 months. I don't want to give specifics just yet because I don't know what the right amount of time would be. But it would be there for quite a while. But usually people are interested in the latest work that you're coming out, or a lot of like work in progress. Like this might be a work in progress, might be finished, things like that. But when someone wants to come and steal your art, one of the things is they can only capture this. They cannot capture this. So that you are putting less at risk. Now, there's a few other things that I want to do with the platform, such that this work that is potentially, I guess, this work that is public on your feed, what we would do is we would make sure that we will protect it. Once something goes public on the internet, there's a good saying, I forget who says it, like anything you put publicly on the internet, it's as good as, you know, someone, you have to assume that someone is going to copy it, right? once it goes public, once it goes live, there's no way to really take it back, unfortunately. However, what we can do is we can, I want to look into encryption so that someone who tries to capture all of this would not be able to capture it all necessarily, because it would be very hard for them to scan. So they would have to request the keys to unlock your work in the first place, and we would rate limit things so that it would be very difficult for them to scan. It would take them a very long time, and by then we would hopefully be able to detect them and stop them, and or do a number of things to prevent that from happening, from them taking, you know, the entire pot of the entire feeds of artwork. Now, you obviously don't want this sort of behavior where your artwork just goes away. Let's see, I need a bigger, oh wait, opacity 100. There we go. So you obviously don't want this to happen for things like your portfolio. So instead of having a portfolio where your posts will eventually go away, your portfolio will stay into perpetuity. So you're not having to repost your portfolio all the time. The idea, though, is that your portfolio is typically a small collection of your work, not your entire collection either. So maybe your top 9, top 12 pieces of art, and you might switch them out every so often as you change as an artist, and or maybe the things that you want to present may change as well. But you can, this is usually typical. You know, not everyone is going to go through like 100,000, 10,000 pieces of work that you go through in your entire life if they're wanting to, say, for example, commission you for your art. So I just want to make it very clear that, you know, you might swap out, you know, this, whoops, did not mean to do that. You might want to swap out this one for a new one, something different, eventually at some point in time. But your portfolio would be something that would stay the same. So those are sort of the two big features, and the main concepts here is that you're not putting your entire stockpile of artwork. You may store those somewhere else where it's safe, like your own hard drive, or in some cloud storage that you control, that only you have access to, or you back them up somewhere safe. And this platform would mainly be so that people can go and follow you as an artist. So fans of yours could follow you. You can show your portfolio. And the other thing that I want to do that will be very big. So let's say you're not an artist, you are someone that is looking to commission an artist. So let's say I am wanting to commission an artist. I will go look at their profile. I'll see their little profile picture, some stuff about them, their feed, so their current stuff that they're posting. So one of the big things that I see artists have to do is when they're taking commissions, they need to set up some forms. So I'd like to build that into one platform. So if an artist is open for commission, you can see that they have a form, and you can go and, you know, excuse my handwriting. It's a little tricky with this, I suppose. But you might fill out your form. This would be things like, you know, all right, what is it that you want me to draw, or what is it that you want me to render for you into the world. You know, tell me about your ideas. Or it might be way more specific, like I have X amount of X amount of templates here. You know, which one do you want me to use, or what are the modifications you want? That sort of a thing. So a lot of what I see, a lot of what a lot of artists do today, if you are a commission artist, if you're an artist that's open for commission, you'll have a lot of different platforms. I'm probably not going to be able to solve that aspect because there's a lot of like social media, and you'll probably want to continue posting elsewhere and not just one platform. But they'll use a lot of tools. So what this is trying to solve is you have one place that you can go to that does forms. So this is our platform. I have a feature for forms. I have a feature for portfolio to show off your work. Have a profile, and essentially like what is it? Like a homepage where you can post all your links to all your other social media. So that's another thing, is like you can instead of using some other app, let's see, what is the, let's use some symbols here. What is the link symbol? Like a chain. There we go. You can go off to your other sites like YouTube, Instagram, if you so please, Blue Sky, all those other platforms. So you have kind of a home base, a home page, and also a feed so that followers can stay up to date on the latest stuff that you do. So that's the gist of it. And again, the main way that we're going to try and beat the robots, so to speak, is make sure that, you know, you're never, you as the artist, the creator, you hold on to all of your artwork instead of this platform. This platform is a tool, but not only that, but the platform only keeps some degraded form of your artwork. So lower resolution. You may set things like watermarks and stuff, so it could automatically add those for you. So you put a stamp on it. So it's harder for people to steal your work and claim it's theirs or anything like that. And also, we're going to be looking into encryption. So, all right. if you followed me through all that, I really appreciate it, because my hope, I'm going to be working on this. I'm already working on this. I don't have a whole lot to show at this very moment, and I'm going to be focusing probably on the link page and profile page, the portfolio, and the feed first. The forums, I also definitely want to get up and running as fast as possible. But it's like, okay, if you're looking for this platform, it's, you're probably going to ask, when can I have this? And the unfortunate answer is that I am unfortunately strapped for time to work on this. So I really want to work on this, but I currently have a day job that takes a whole lot of my time. So that's what this stream is about as well, is I'm trying to get support to build this. And I'm, once it's built, what might happen is there might be like you're able to use this for free to a certain extent, and then you might be able to have more artwork or more posts if you become a member, that sort of a thing. But right now, in order to even get the thing running and to get it up and about, I do need some support in order to build it, because I unfortunately do not have my day job is taking a lot of my time away from me, away from this, and this is what I'm honestly more passionate about. So it's funny because I have a story where a friend of mine, let me switch cameras here. I have a friend of mine who, back in the day, we were LARP buddies, and this friend of mine wanted me to join his company. He was starting a game company. I write software as part of my day job, and a lot of it's web-based. But this friend of mine was starting a game company. He wanted to make video games. I wanted to break into video gaming, video game programming, that is, at the time. And what ended up happening is he was also in the same boat that I am in now. And his way of getting out of the sort of rut, getting the support, was to look at doing what a lot of startups do, which is to go ask investors for funding. I would rather not do that myself. I would rather not be beholden to investors. That's how a lot of startups start out. A lot of tech startups is they will grab funding, get enough funding to last them for a few years, maybe be able to hire, or maybe just to the point where they can go get more funding later down the line. And either they need to be profitable, or they need to be going public, or they need to sell to a bigger company that can perhaps absorb the development costs or the research and development costs that it takes to get them to the profitable point. Maybe. I've been in these situations too as well, and I would rather not be beholden to some investor. And I would rather be beholden to you, and that is artists, fellow artists, to build the platform that to help artists. You know, I you know, being, how do I put this? Being what I am, we'll put it at that. You know, a lot of times, or actually just, you know, in the case of like disabilities, how many times do you have people going, oh, I know better, I know what people want, and not really involving the people who need the help or need the accessibilities that they're trying to implement and trying to talk about, and they're not involved with it. How many times has that happened, right? So if you want a platform to share your creativity with, and you don't necessarily have to identify as an artist, just someone who wants to share something with the world, I should say, something that you create. It doesn't have to be a picture. It can be body painting. It can be costuming. I'm hoping to support pictures and a little bit of video, as well as text. You could be a poet. If you want to share something with the world, I would like to help you with that. Now, a lot of it's whoops, didn't mean to get makeup on that. Sorry, that slipped out of my fingers. Where was I? So another thing about this is I'm also going to be writing the code openly. I plan to stream some of that. I don't know how many of you are going to be interested in live coding, as they say, but I don't know. Maybe it would be a good opportunity. I'll try to, for anyone who's not a coder. I know not everyone writes software. I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I go through it. And I'll try to involve you as well. I want to take feedback and input as I'm doing it. I also am going to be open sourcing this. So if you decide to take your art and go to another platform, like say, for example, I host this for a while and you post your art on it for whatever reason, if you want to, maybe you want to self-host it yourself later down the line, or maybe you want to go to another host that's a friend of yours. That's fine. You can. I plan to make it easy to do that, so that you can export everything and just import it into your other one. So you can just pick up where you left off. And so that way you're not trapped to a platform. I think that we live in a time where, you know, if you build up your artwork and everything, you've posted here, you know, your a good portion of your life is on this platform, and then all of a sudden the platform changes and you decide, like, that's not for me. It's really hard take your stuff and migrate to another place, it's very I've done that a few times, you know. Um, it's very demoralizing when you have to do that a few times. So the easier I can make this so that you can take your data and put it somewhere else, um, that is also in the plans. Also open source. So if for whatever reason, if someone decides to change direction, or if you decide to contribute to the open source project, you should be able to do that. Let me take you to code.artmenagerie.app. I'll switch screens here. Here we go. So I have put this here. This is a code repository. And if you don't know what that is, that just means that it's like a portfolio or your whole history of everything that's been done to the code exists in here. You can see the timeline of my work that I've done so far on it. I unfortunately haven't been able to work on it recently. I have been working on other things, such as getting a lot of the infrastructure set up and ready to go to be able to host this. So you see the history here. My last change was in, September. But I don't have a home page for it yet. I do have, let's see, files. You can see what's kept in the code repository. I do have a README in here, and the start of it. So I can go ahead and start. I'm going to take a quick break, but I'm going to go ahead and work on building out the homepage here a little bit for you. Basically what we just talked about, but I'm going to take a quick little break. I have some artwork to share with you while I'm on that break. So give me a couple minutes, actually 5 minutes or so, and I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed all the artwork there. Let's see, we had artwork from Art Accusations. Let me pull this up here. What was it? It was Art Accusations, Ray Luca, Sugar Cookie Dough, Zakauer, and who was the last one? It's going to kill me. It's going to kill me if I can't find it. Murasaki. I really like their art, and they've done some beautiful work of myself and my partner. And art really surprised me with their gift over the winter break. That was quite a surprise, and I love that they put themselves in there as a plush. Let's see, where were we? Oh yes, so I don't just plan to do live coding. I also would like to not just all work, but I also want to play. I would like to try doing some video games. There's a lot of video games that have been sitting around in my library that I've been meaning to play and get to that I haven't. So I figure, I could maybe try and do some video games on stream, all painted up, of course. Maybe as different animals, different characters. One of the ones that I really want to try and do is like Okami. There's a new version of that. Imagine I could get painted up as a white wolf with red markings. Would not be that much of a stretch, I guess. And there's a lot that has been really sitting on my console, and I know the Nintendo Switch 2 has been announced, so that's exciting. It's nice to have some exciting news with all the other news that's been going on. So I plan on potentially doing some leisure activities as well here. But for today, I think I can maybe get the homepage done. So let's see if we can get, or at least get it started. Right now, it's a blank slate. If you look at the homepage here, empty page, right? And it's funny, a coworker of mine was actually telling me about how difficult it is when you have it's like he was describing the problems that he was having in his recent project that he was working on the side, and I was like, oh well, you're experiencing like writer's block, or like an artist would have, with a blank sheet of paper. That's the hardest part. What artists do typically is they'll make like a thumbnail or something. Let me see if I remember the password here. Yeah, I do. Okay. And I told him, yeah, you're kind of experiencing what everyone experiences, and that's fine. with time, you get to have little tricks that you figure out that work for you. And it's really just figuring that out. But honestly, everyone um, still has to deal with it. Okay. Now I believe the home page is the wiki page name. If I name it the name of the project, which is Art Menagerie, I believe that will be the home page. This is the home page. Save and close. Yes. Okay. So if I go home, that is the home page. Let's see. What should we write here? First, let me move some of my makeup to the side here. All this face paint getting in the way of my keyboard. Okay. Keyboard all set. Welcome to the Art Menagerie. Do you remember when websites used to say welcome a lot? I do. This is a project to create a platform for artists where they can thrive. So what are our goals? Goals. So on the pad, I stated that our goals were, let me blow that up for you. I stated that our goals were, no vendor lock-in. So you can migrate your data easily. We want to be self-hostable. So you can run it yourself. And we want it to be, top features. Top features are protection from art theft. Now, there's the chance of that happening is never going to be zero, but that doesn't mean we can't make it difficult for them to do. Protection from generative AI. Now, I want to protect from the using your artwork as a model for AI. Also, and that is also art theft. But also, I've seen art platforms now where they allow generative AI, and it's seen as the same, and people get confused and they don't know that, hey, this is not actually an artist that does it, because it's shown with the same priority as a human artist. So from those two aspects of it, AI is not going to take your job on this platform. And let's see, what else did I cover? An ephemeral feed. A portfolio. And forms. Velveteen asks, what is an ephemeral feed? That's a very good question. Ephemeral meaning it doesn't last forever. So when you post to your feed, your artwork would not last forever. Let me expand on that here. Expire. And so the idea here is that when you make a post, you are posting it to the top of your feed and other people's feeds who have subscribed to you. And eventually that piece of artwork will go away on that feed. You would keep your artwork, you would have your own collection. But the nice thing about that is that, one, you as an artist can grow, and you can either choose to repost it over and over again if you wish, or you may decide like, it's not worth reposting. Or, the nice thing is that if someone goes to tries to go to your feed and steal all your artwork, they can only steal the artwork that exists on your feed. A lot of social media platforms basically keep everything for all time, really. And that is that's nice in a way, but it's kind of unrealistic if your goal is to be self-hostable, because you're keeping everything from everyone all the time. And the amount of like data centers, I remember reading about how I guess the company's name is Meta now, how they stored and warehoused a lot of the their data. Because I would when I was on that platform, I would post lots of pictures of things, and I wondered like, all right, well, how do I go back in time like years and years? How does it go back in time at like years and years? And does this for like everyone everywhere? They have lots of data warehouses, but that makes it really limiting for people like us, where we want to self-host it. We can't necessarily host everything all the time. And the other benefit too is it makes it harder for art thieves to steal everything. So maybe I shouldn't use ephemeral. How about feeds with expiring posts? And art portfolio is different, does not expire. And let's see, forms. Forms, what would be a good example? Would be submit like a commission. I might have to go back, or I'll go back and fill these out a little bit, or flesh these out a little bit better and what they mean. But I think for right now, it's good to just kind of jot down these ideas. Does anyone have any recommendations to put on here? Let's see. So, oh, well, this is not a goal, but I think it would be good to make this as a statement. Oh, I guess it is a goal. So, my idea here is a platform made by artists for artists. Velveteen Ducky says, can I be notified somehow when my followed artist posts? That's a good question. Notified somehow. Now, it's easy-ish, I will say. It's easy-ish to be notified by email. So let's say you have you follow 100 artists and a small handful of them post in a day, like maybe 25, 50 artists post in a day. Would you rather be notified that they posted at the end of the day or beginning of the day or somewhere, like kind of in give a summary, or would you like to be notified as soon as they do it, as soon as they post? I'll make a section here called side goals, or how about side quests? I like role playing, so notifications when artists So side quest, notifications when artists I follow make a post. All right, Velveteen Ducky has come back. A summary, if I want to know immediately, I can just log in, right? Never going to read all those emails in one day. Yeah, I just noticed that I misspelled that. It can get really noisy. Like if you end up getting so many notifications, you might not you might not pay attention to your notifications. So I think it would be good to maybe, so some ideas for this would be a summary, a daily summary, maybe customizable. So I'm kind of thinking now that you mention it, maybe you don't want a summary of all your artists, right? So maybe there's a subset of them that you want to know, like to appear in that daily digest or that daily summary. Um, so you can maybe customize that. Um, if you go into the website, yes, I think maybe the homepage for the website would be your um, would be your feed. So everyone that you follow, you get like a feed, and you know one of the it may look like social media, but that's because I guess as a society have learned to kind of use and consume that kind of format. But the feeds won't be determined by an algorithm. The feeds will be sorted based on the time that the artists have posted. So you'll see all your artists kind of in a row. And so if you scroll, it should be, the word is deterministic. So if you scroll, at one point in time, you can scroll and see all the artwork. If you come back later, you see the new artwork, but you'll see like the old artwork too. So you'll know um, that you've seen uh, you haven't missed anything. That's the thing. I think um, I think that is another goal. Would be no algorithm. And what I mean by algorithm here is the thing that basically tries to suggest tries to shape your feed into something that's not necessarily what you choose. Because when I go into a lot of the into the social media today, I try not to use it too much, but the social media, like if I find something on social media that's interesting, if I don't do something with it, like if I don't share it or something, it's gone. If I come back to the app or something, or hit refresh or whatnot, it is gone. So it gets lost. It doesn't want to show me again because it wants to show me new stuff. It wants to suggest things, and it wants to keep me active and engaged. And that's its job. So I guess I don't know the I don't know if this should be written down like no dark patterns, no algorithm, no dark patterns. Dark patterns are, if you're not familiar with this, how do I explain this? Dark patterns are things that are built into like applications like social media where they try to affect your behavior, essentially. A lot of times it is to get you to stay on. Like one of the examples of this is like cookie reminders, or like, hey, we have like tracking cookies or something like that. And they will make it easy for you to accept all the cookies, but then make it very difficult for you to reject them. So that's considered a dark pattern. I think there has been some regulation on that. So it's harder for websites to actually do that now. I think they have to have like a reject button along with it if they have an accept button. The another dark pattern would be you go to a user interface and you know that the OK button is on one spot and the cancel button or the exit button is on the other spot, or the close button, OK and cancel, and then for whatever reason they swap it. So the button is on another side. So that's a dark pattern. You can consider the algorithm as a dark pattern too sometimes. Whew. Sorry for going on a side tangent there. I like this this idea of side quests here. They may not. It's good to kind of keep in mind. All right, I do have a question. If something that's kind of been in the back of my mind is like, how important would it be to essentially a DM or a direct message? How important would it be to directly message the artist? I guess while you're responding, I know there's also a bit of a lag here. I'm going to add another section here. Maybe non-goals or anti-goals. Okay, so Velveteen Ducky has come back saying pretty important if it's the idea of getting a commission from an artist. Yeah, I do definitely want to make it easy to so if you're an artist and you do commissions to set up shop, basically, so I remember link page was the other thing, and side quest, direct messages. We'll add that to the list. Thank you, Velveteen Ducky. Yeah, so I do want to make it easy for an artist to set up shop here and do commission work, and if it's not a one-stop shop, it should be fairly close to it, and you don't have to use too many other things. You'll probably have to use other things to promote yourself, of course, unfortunately, but yeah, okay, that's good to know. So direct messages, so you can get in touch with artists. Enable communication for commissions. Some non-goals. Unfortunately, at least for now, a non-goal, I think, would be to handle payments. That is a very difficult problem, and I don't think it's one I'm not going to say it's impossible. I don't think it's one that can be easily solved by a single programmer, at least not in the beginning stages. So I will say, however, artists can use other methods in combination with this. So I don't know any examples off the top of my head, but I think there are some platforms that don't necessarily want you making money in some other ways. It's usually platforms that have ways of making money off of them, but they'll take a certain percentage out of the pot, I guess. They usually don't want you to go use some other platform, but I honestly do not mind. And in fact, because we're not handling this feature, it's probably necessary. Yeah, taking money is a hard problem to solve. let's see. Any other ideas for goals, side quests, even non-goals, perhaps? Let's see. I think I pretty much covered most. Link page / profile. Yeah. I'm quite aware that this platform won't be everything for everyone. It can't. But it should be a good center, I think, and be able to create like a good central point for artists to be able to point to. Like you could put your a link to this in your business card, and people can find you elsewhere in your other platforms. Like for example, you put your Blue Sky links or your link to Ko-fi or your YouTube link or Twitch, something like that. And what's funny is I find that like a lot of artists kind of piecing this together with like all these features would be one extra app, you know. Well, except for the protection from art theft and generative AI, I don't think that exists. Well, actually, I did do a little bit of research. I did notice that there are some other art websites coming up that uh, advertise that they protect you from AI. Like they advertise that they will run your art through a an anti, what is it, Glaze? I think it's called Glaze. I think the other one is called, what is it, Nightshade or something, but it's basically a poison. It's something to poison AI when it uses art for modeling. Now, the downside to that is I looked into those projects uh, that use it, and they only use it as kind of like a best effort because these poisoning. Basically, you're using AI to combat AI. To poison your artwork, you need to run AI on your artwork to poison it for other AI. And I also looked deeper into it, and there is AI trainers that basically say we will get rid of the poison. So it's basically an AI war, and it's no one really wins in this scenario because you're going to have to build better models on this end and better models on that end. And in the end of the day, artists aren't necessarily safe, or you're never going to be 100% safe, I will say. Um, so the unfortunate thing too is that these websites will offer that off and on because they will, because it's AI, right? It takes a lot of processing power to run your artwork through. So it's best if you want to, it is Nightshade. So it's Glaze and Nightshade. If you want to use those tools, you can use them before putting them on this platform. And I think it's a good idea, but it's much easier for you to do that and put it on the platform than it is for a platform to do this at scale. So that goes against the self-hostable goal that we have here. And unfortunately, those projects, Glaze and Nightshade, they're both not open source, or if they are, their license, they don't have an open source license, unfortunately. So I could not deploy it onto this, or I could not build it into this and have it as a choice, like a feature that you could turn on. Like, for example, if you decided, oh, I have enough processing power, I can do that, no problem. I unfortunately can't build it into this platform and make it a feature here, at least at this moment. Now, if Glaze and Nightshade, if they change their license, perhaps we could reconsider it. So that is a non-goal for right now. So Glaze, oh, let me show you the computer again. So Glaze and Nightshade AI poisoning. And the reason is lots of processing power. And I noticed that the platforms that do say that they support it, they don't always support it because of that processing power. I don't know what deals they have with Glaze or Nightshade, but it's also not open source. And in order to include it, unfortunately, we would need it to be open source. So let's see. What else can we add here? I think this is a good starting point. What I might do too is I might also put up some diagrams. I know I drew or sketched in Procreate some very I guess haphazard sketches, but I hope that helped visualize some of the things that we want to enable on this platform, or at least as a starting point. You know, I don't think any of these will be too difficult. One of the challenges, you know, for me is going to be notifications and direct messages, but I have an idea on how to do that, because I did think about this, because it's very hard to kind of compete in the I don't know if I like this term, in the attention economy is what they call it. When you are a social media platform, you're basically vying for people's attention, and you want people to stay on your platform for as long as possible. That's why they have that algorithm and those dark patterns, is that they're trying to get your to keep you on their platform. What they do, what I've noticed when I've set up any sort of platform, because there's other software, there's self-hosted stuff. I believe in self-hosting as much as I can, though it's not always possible. for everything. The unfortunate side effect is if you try to do something socially with people, like, for example, I've tried to set up forums for a for communities around here. The unfortunate thing is that it doesn't get used because it lacks anything that can grab their attention. I remember when I used forums, I would go to that forum and I'd hit the refresh button every so often, or I'd check in, once a day. But, how do you build those habits into people? And one way to do that is with like messaging and notifications. If there's something new for them that is directly relevant to them and engaging to them, or if there's some way to notify them, like on your phone or on your computer or tablet, then you're going to be able to pull them back into this platform. And that's not necessarily a malicious thing. It's just how we've kind of grown to use our applications now. Is that we need them to kind of nag us. Otherwise, we're going to forget about them and they won't be useful to us at that point. So let me talk a little bit about the that idea that I mentioned. So XMPP. Does anyone remember XMPP? A long time ago, it was also called Jabber. I'll give you a little moment here. I know there's also a lag in the feed, so in the stream. So XMPP or Jabber is a protocol for chat, basically. To simplify it, it's grown a little bit more than that. It's what powers things like WhatsApp, if I remember correctly. I thought I read somewhere that WhatsApp is actually powered by this. It's a standard for messaging and presence. It has subscription. It has forms. It has a lot of the features that we're kind of talking about here. I think one of the, one of the challenges that we're going to have is building on top of this, building a good interface that makes it appealing for us artists to use. But there is precedent for this. So if you look at movim.eu, Movim is essentially a client for XMPP. And what it does is it is a chat client, but it's also a social platform. You can think of it as like another Blue Sky or another Twitter, or I guess now it's X, or Threads, or I forget some of the others, but I'm not on social media a whole lot, but that might have to change if I want to get support for this project and get my voice out there. But yeah, so going back to this, Movim is a platform that goes on top of XMPP, so that you can use XMPP like a social media application. Essentially, this is also open source. All of it's open source. You can self-host this. One of the things, though, is that this is, I tried setting this up. It's a little bit difficult. I was successful in doing it, I think, maybe a year ago. But there's been some changes here, and I wanted to try it out. And I had a little bit of difficulty. Ooh, that's a little hard to read. It might be this. Oh, sorry if I just blinded you. I just turned off Dark Reader. It does make it easier to read, though. But yeah, it's a social and chat platform, acts as a front end for the XMPP network. The difference between, you might be asking, like, why build a new platform? Why not just use Movim? The reason is because we have all these other goals. We want a platform that's made by artists for artists. Movim, I think, is very good at making a social platform, and we could borrow some ideas from there. But it's not easily self-hostable, because what I'm thinking is I build an all-in-one package, both XMPP server and everything. So you just need to download this and run. Hopefully there might be some more steps involved, but I can combine the two so that you have a lot less to worry about and think about. I plan on, I guess this is another goal. This is on the more technical side, but easy to deploy and configure. That's basically it. So by combining both an XMPP server as well as a front end for it, I think we can build a very powerful platform. And I guess part of the side quest is making it federated. So basing this off of XMPP may give this to us for free. But I am not 100% set on this. So this is something I will have to discover, because one of the things that, one of the risks, I would say, is that going down this path, we would have to kind of conform to the XMPP world of things. And XMPP has been built on decades of work, all of which is pretty good, to be honest. XMPP is a lot like email in a way, but it is still kind of expanding and growing as a protocol. And people are doing very interesting things with it, and we could potentially use it for our purposes here and meet our goals as well. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I said in there that I'm kind of missing here that I haven't touched in one of these bullet points. Now, someone probably going to this website all on their own may read this and see, may not get the full context. Maybe I'll put a link to this video up here as well. But I'll flesh this out a little bit better. I do actually enjoy writing documentation. That's one of the things that I like to do, is to, and is also the only way I think that you can get a piece of software that's actually releasable, in my opinion. Because if you don't document it, no one's going to be able to use it. Hi, Kiki. Hi, baby. All right. I know I've said a lot, and thank you very much for your input, especially you, Velveteen Ducky. Um, it's been very helpful to get your input here, and I intend to do this more of this in the future. I'm not going to stream myself creating the entire platform. I think that might be a little boring, but there might be days where I'll just come on here and stream and code and explain things, and you're welcome to come here and provide feedback and see how things are going. Actually, one thing I can do, I guess, before I go, I haven't opened up this project in a long time. I wonder if it's I wonder if I can still run it. There is a bit of a I don't know, superstition that if you live demo something, that you're going to that it's bound to fail. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. I've been working a lot in my infrastructure code. Let's open up Menagerie. So this is two ways of viewing it, but if you remember in the website, actually let me go ahead and save this and publish it. Save and close. There you go. You can see this on the web, the homepage here at the Art Menagerie. But if you remember, the files here are the same as they appear here in the terminal. Honestly, I forget how to run it. So I'm going to read some of the documentation. I'm going to eat my own words, and hopefully I've written enough documentation here that will help me get started. I'm pretty sure I already have PostgreSQL. Now, I think one of my goals is going to be to get off of PostgreSQL and use SQLite, and that will help with our goal of making this easy to deploy, so you don't have to install more software. So I'm going to run this, see what happens. I've already installed Elixir, which is the programming language that I'm using here. Okay, warnings aren't errors, so hopefully, yeah, that should be, well, I spoke too soon. Connection refused. Okay, what I might have done is I might have uninstalled PostgreSQL. I think I did that ahead of time so that, because I kind of planned to have, to remove the PostgreSQL dependency. But if I install that, set that up, and run mix setup again, let's see what happens. Okay, no errors that time. That's good. I'll skip down to here. Start the server. All right. And boom. I have my test page up and running. This probably doesn't look like a lot, but I was basically formatting and looking over, making sure the font was what I wanted, or what we wanted. I tried to pick a font that is easily legible for someone with like dyslexia. I tried to also make it rather large. I don't even have this zoomed in here. Zoomed in a little bit here. That's way big. I think I only need to zoom in just a tad, maybe. Yeah, so it's easily legible. I kind of have a little bit of a register and login. It is based on Phoenix. That's not our logo yet. That's the Phoenix framework, which is how do I put it? It's basically like a framework for making web applications in Elixir. So you can technically sign up here locally. You won't be able to sign up here because this is running on my machine, but registration kind of works. It's just a little toy right now, but it doesn't really have any features yet. And I did this on the front page to show, what stuff might look like and how it might appear, so I can style it. So good that works still. And I've got quite a bit of work to go towards to get this up and running, to get those features. The features aren't necessarily that hard. It's going to probably be a little bit tricky to figure out how they all fit in with XMPP, but I think we'll gain a lot in terms of making it so that we hit our goals in making this a bit more engaging for people, so that people will return to it and actually use it. And I think the more people use this, the more useful it will be. Well, need to build it first, of course. We may also get federation from it. And yeah, hopefully this will be a really good center for artists to do commission work, to you don't even need to do commission work, honestly, but for anyone to share and I guess have a home base for all your creative activities. Well, I want to say thank you all for joining today, and I really appreciate all the feedback, and it was nice getting to chat with you. And in the future, I hope to do more of this, and I also hope to potentially, get into some video games. So yeah, feel free to come back with more questions and more more ideas. I love talking to sorry. I yeah. Blah, blah, blah. What I want to say is I love seeing your creativity, and whether that's through chat, whether that's through artwork, I love it all. Anyway, I hope to see you again. Take care and have a good day.